Got recording, pause the music. Let's get settled here. We got Blaze and Ivy, I believe. Yep. And we got Holy and Caleb. And it's not a forfeit. That's posted, I think, last week. All right. Can I type? Are we ready? We're getting there. We're continually gonna get hyped as we get into casting mode. As welcome into CPL 2v2 Challenger of the C2-C3 range. And as week 4, Blaze might have an open net. Puts it to the left, and Blaze not taking much time. It turns on this and gets it by initial challenger. And Team Z strike first. 10 seconds in. Now Ivy, slight touch. Can't quite get that. Blaze, though, can almost sneak by, get a shot, but might be an open net. That's wide touch. Ivy was venturing back. And a bounce high. But Team Z in blue, Spartan Chalks in orange. And I believe this is the first time we're casting Spartan Chalks with the official new change. New logo and team name as well. So first time we get the pleasure of that. Also, this is 2v2 in case you're used to 3v3s. But Caleb taking possession in the air and trying to get that pop, but Ivy, quick challenge and slowing things down. Could be a shot for Blaze, and what a save from Caleb. Just barely gets it by, and Holy kind of stops the momentum there. Now has to save it himself. And so some defense on display for Spartan Chalk. Can they get the offense going? As Blaze keeping the pressure. Great challenge. Now Holy in a rough spot, but does go to the side. And gonna kick it out. But also, still time to vote if you guys want to put in a prediction. Ivy might have an open net. He does, and Ivy puts team up by 1. Bell said 1 is totally on hawk or chalked. This is just a rebranding. This is 2's Spartan Vipers, which is also Spartan Aries. It's a confusing web, but basically they were Spartan Vipers. They wanted to change and to Spartan Chalks as Ivy add in another, and so Spartan Chalk down by 3 and a little bit of a rough game as we get close to halftime. However, I feel like they haven't fully put on the display they're capable of. Still trying to put some offense, almost getting it through, and there they go as we mention it. But getting that first goal, pretty big. He's on 2 teams. Holy was on Spartan Aries, which is for royalty. It's a different league. And so that just ended. But he was on the 2s and the 3s for Spartan Aries. But that's basically the same as Caleb added another. And some momentum coming their way. But yeah, Spartan Aries, basically the same as you're seeing. Same roster, but there's a 2s team for CPL league. And so it's Holy, Caleb, and Chaotic. Caleb was not on Spartan Aries because he was a little bit higher, but he's able to play in this because it's C2-C3. But yeah, so this was their Spartan Vipers because it was a different league. And they're previously Spartan Vipers. They continued it on. And wanted to change the branding mid-season, so Spartan Vipers became Spartan Chalks. And that concludes that. But 1 minute, 30 seconds left. Caleb trying to keep the offense going. And Holy sneaks in. Nice shot. And tied up 3 apiece. And seems like play is kind of slow. Like, players are taking their time, getting possession, still ramping up into things. And as you can see, Spartan Chalked, slow start in the first half, but definitely moving momentum in their favor. And also, I believe Spartan Chalk did their 3-0 on the season, so trying to keep undefeated streak alive. Meanwhile, Team Z, I believe they've had a little rough patch in the season, but trying to turn things around and getting a win here will definitely be big for their morale and also trying to turn their season around. Damn, shots fired. Just waiting for the logo. That is true. It's just been so long, I kind of forgot at what point. Feel like you're kind of like figuring out what team name and whatnot after the season started, but it could have been before. KX says 3-0 series, 6-0 game record because forfeit. Yeah, we weren't streaming, but we were present for their forfeit. I think Chaotic was away. But 3-3 OT. Ivy gets deleted and not gonna have a chance. But Caleb making things awkward. This could be a shot opportunity and hits the ground. You see Holy with the shot opportunity, but tough angle to keep it up. But OT and well, teams arriving here. Forget about everything. Just comes down to one goal, one possible mistake, 150 almost going in. And now Caleb going to the air again and can do some damage. That's a demo coming back. So just Caleb. Good defense from Team Z. And get it by and Blaze. How he starts the match is how he finishes. And nice little pass from Ivy to continue. Slight touch. Blaze gets it by. And like we said, similar to that first goal, he started the game off. And OT winner, Team Z for game 1. And we are going to Forbidden Temple, game 2. And gonna see if Spartan Chalk, they come out in better form. They obviously were a second half team in game 1. Well, now they have a full game to know what they're dealing with. Will it result in something different? El Macho says, Spartan, let me create Spartan Poppy Macho. No. You know why? Because we only allow one word. It's Spartan and then one word. That's where we limit it. When you start adding more than one, it's... One, it gets too long, and then 2, it can get very weird. Spartan Macho. Possible, but who's... You're gonna be the captain? Now that you know how to submit results because you watched the YouTube video that we provided. Me, myself, and I. Oh my goodness. I'm prepared. Yeah, we believe it. But what a touch. And let's not forget, Spartan Chalked, they get their first score. They're in the lead, and that is huge for the momentum. Let's not forget, game one, they were down by 3 as they were approaching halftime to finally score their first. So, much different story to be up in the lead, but Caleb has to make a good save. Needs Holy, can't get a touch, but does make it awkward. Blaze has to put it to the side. And Ivy dropped that. Holy just continues on. Well, Caleb trying to race there. Gets a slight touch and thought he had it the whole way, but Blaze is there. And Blaze definitely an offensive threat to keep the pressure going for Team Z. And it can be all over. And it's going to try and cut this one. And Caleb can't get a piece. And see that shadow defense a little bit back. And trying to get a touch. Awkward. As Blaze capitalizing on another possession chance. As Caleb, flip reset, dropping it down, trying to get it above Blaze, but Blaze can go to the air, and what's he gonna do? Nice challenge from Holy, going high. And what a touch! Can Holy get there? It's too high, Blaze. Getting boost, being prepared for a counter, but might not get a chance as shots come through. And we are still tied up 1 apiece. Halftime almost here. Ivy, a nice touch, and Holy has to make a save. He's still flying, but that's an awkward one. And Blaze quick on the draw. And Spartan chalked. Have to get an answer for Blaze, who is all over the field and puts in another. As Team Z up by 1. We're past halftime. Now Holy trying to get a pop. Doesn't get very much height. Caleb just threatening. Does force something. But Blaze at the midfield. And a flick going too high. It's Ivy all over the place there. Didn't get the boost, but still causing traffic. Holy jumping quick, trying to get that score. And now you start to wonder about the time. It's ticking down. Spartan Chalks needs something. And Blaze, given the time, makes them pay. And nice little bounce. You could do a lot with it, especially a power shot. And slots it through. Team Z up by 2. And if they win this, they are on match point. And that would be huge for their season. But Caleb has a different story in mind. He said, hold on. Gets a 50 of a lifetime here. As in front of net, good things can happen just by positioning. And huge goal, cut the lead by 1, and they are not out of it. As minute 30 left to go, looking to tie it up, but Blaze trying to maintain possession. And Demo, as now Caleb can take it, gets it by, can finish it off. It just goes in and not gonna hit the backboard. And Caleb just enough of a touch to get by Blaze as they tie it up. And you know they don't want to go down 2 in the series, but a shot coming through, and Caleb, good reaction as Blaze, he can fire those shots on quick. But in front of net, Ivy's a little awkward, and Blaze senses it, bails him out, and chases this one down. But Holy, good touch around Blaze. He's got Caleb, and that's going to be a little too forward. But Caleb, quick jump, trying to continue 30 seconds left. Holy can't get a touch. Gonna make up for it. Draw the opponents in. And can only land in front. And Caleb puts a shot through. And sometimes that works kind of like a fake. Pause the defense here in front. Loading. And meanwhile, you're looking up. And the player on the ground shines through with a shot, but there's Caleb, a huge goal, just securing, and he's close to that 1,000 mark as he's had quite the stat line, stepped up in a big way in this one. All spurned on by a big 50, but Blaze, I don't know, a lot of scoring in this one. Blaze looking for 1,000 point as well, but gets a easy goal, and now it's a 1 goal difference. Team Z looking for a little magic, but that's a big boost grab from Caleb. And Holy playing it safe. Caleb, almost an own goal. And we're not going to even call that a back pass. As Spartan Chalks, they win a big game in game 2 to tie up the series. Well, like we said, if Team Z won that, their match point, that's much tougher. But instead, we're back on even ground. DFH Stadium, 10th anniversary, game 3. Now, where does it go? Which team prevails? That's a tough one. Both teams now have a win under their belt, so I think we're in for a very interesting one in game 3. But of course, getting that early start is big. It's Caleb trying to track it down, and 50 out to Holy, who pauses it at the midfield, and Blaze trying to quickly shoot it. It's going to go into Caleb's possession. And Caleb, good ball control. Now Blaze, he can certainly turn things around. Pausing it at the midfield, it bounces high. And Caleb against Blaze, that's certainly a matchup to look out for. And what a save from Holy, as when you talk about the other guys, but supporting cast, they're showing what they're made of. But there's a chance for Holy. It's going to be a little bit wide. Now Caleb in an awkward spot, trying to find time to turn on this. Grabs boost. And that one's going to fizzle out as Blaze trying to quickly turn on this. But Ivy Edward. Awkward ball, and Caleb reads it. Blaze has nothing in the tank, but he can fake. Do a little damage in front of net. Almost sneaks it by. And trying to get that quick shot. And we said we've seen Blaze show speed in the corner, be able to get those shots on quick, and will be denied. But no possession there for Spartan Chalked, and brought right into mid. And Spartan Chalked a little awkward on who goes. And meanwhile, Team Z happily taking that right into the net. Team Z up by 1. And it's one in front of net. Missed opportunity for Ivy, but I'm going to try and turn around and can't do it. But right now, Spartan Chalked, they're trying to tie it up, trying to keep it in the corner. Caleb can't get a touch there, but Holy quick to follow, and that's a good 1-2 combo. Caleb continuing on. And playing so close together in that helped as next man up. And Caleb can continue the momentum, and they tie it up 1 apiece. Are we surprised? It's been pretty back and forth in the series. Now Caleb gets the flip around and kind of light, but just enough to go by. And solid play from Caleb. Getting it over and 1 up on Team Z. And Holy can just line that up. Good positioning and adds another goal. And now Spartan Chalked really getting into the swing of things. They're up by 2. And now Team Z, well, Blaze, he's going to have an answer, and that's a big goal for Team Z, cutting the lead. And if you think it's over, not by a long shot, especially with how both these teams can score. But 2:15, Team Z trying to lock in. But Caleb, he's been feeling it, almost puts it through, and Holy just enough to skate it through. And that's been a good combo working. Caleb at the forefront, Holy second man, and results in another goal as Spartan Shots regain that 2-goal lead. Caleb, who's been having more possessions and obviously leading to more pressure. Also, trying to take it away from Blaze, who has definitely shown what he can do. But possession, still trying for Spartan Chalk, but good kick out. And 120 left. Holy off the ceiling, and Blaze catches it, and now he's on a 1v1 chance, but Holy senses it, doesn't want to risk it, gets back to help Caleb, and now Caleb trying to move it quick. As 2-goal lead, certainly they want to build upon. Ivy giving up possession. Holy blasting it down. Now Blaze, awkward touch, giving it up. But Caleb, he's becoming a nuisance over there on the other side, constantly cutting things off, not giving them the chance of possession. That's a shot chance, but too high, and unfortunate for Team Z, as they need one quick. And Blaze, he's off to the races, and great challenge from Blaze, as that's nothing new. Seeing him be able to turn things around quickly if you're not careful. And 1-goal difference. Ivy almost on Caleb there, and he's gonna try and possess. He's a little bit off, and Blaze can only hit it down, and that's an easy clear for Holy. Ivy trying to keep it up. It does bounce up. Blaze steals his boost. Will that result in the ball being killed? And Spartan Chalked, they are up by 1 in the series, 2-1, and 1 win away from winning. And very interesting, because Team Z, they had some chances in the series to go up 2-0, and now they're looking at 1-2 deficit. Can they recover, get back to how they were playing? All right, we passed it. There we go. Sovereign Heights. But certainly know what they're capable of. But I think Spartan Chalk has definitely stepped things up in their own regard as well. So that can only mean Team Z, they got to up it another level. Up. Too many ups. But game 4 is here. Spartan Chalk trying to finish out the series with a win. Meanwhile, Team Z trying to put it to game 5, and almost a play from Caleb, but not gonna be given the chance. And Ivy taking his time. It's an awkward touch, and Caleb ready on the challenge. Pinching it out. Tough read for Blaze. Does get a touch, though. And that should be a challenge for Ivy. A little bit of space between. And Ivy, nice touch, and in. Ivy, good positioning, going high up. Caleb can't quite get the touch to clear it. And Ivy capitalizes it, and a big goal for Team Z to start off, as they are trying to bring it to Game 5. And a team bump. Oh, snap. Trouble on the field for Spartan Chalks. But good center. And Holy's there. Now Ivy. And bring it back. Grab boost. But Caleb all over. And nothing new, as we're seeing Caleb with the constant challenges in the previous game. Blaze. Nice setup. Unfortunately, doesn't have enough boost to follow it up, but now trying to get back, and this could be a counter. It is, and big goal for them, and missed opportunity for Team Z, as they sent everyone too close. Spartan Chalk tie it up, and yeah, we're tied 1-1. Seen this plenty of times. Blaze initially misses, but follows through and has a chance to put it through a tough angle, though. But trying to keep the speed up. And gonna have to turn on this one. Finally see a demo through rotation. We haven't seen many demos in this. And Caleb can't quite get it there. Needs a little help. Holy, who other? As following through and doing it well. Spartan Chalked up by 1, and they've really settled into things, not panicking, although plenty of team bumps still. And Holy, awkward, does get the touch to the corner. But yeah, in this one, you'd see the pressure applied by Blaze and Team Z, but sometimes getting caught out on the counters, and Spartan Chalked able to take full advantage. But playing together, especially on defense. Ivy moving it, and 2 minutes ago, Team Z needs something here. And they're caught out again awkwardly, but Holy can't get a touch. Blaze might be able to finish this one off, and he does. And gonna give possession to Blaze at the midfield. That's gonna be rough. Blaze quickly turning, sensing the danger. And we are tied yet again. Blaze moving it down now. Holy on defense, gets an initial touch to cut off that attack, and Caleb can almost get a shot, but does not get the flick he wants. Still trying at the midfield, creating that midfield presence and pausing the counter. But now Blaze trying to gain possession while trying to avoid being in the wrong spot with his teammate. But play slowed down, back and forth. It's inches. But big bump, and there we go. Holy, putting it through. As we haven't seen many bumps, many demos. Well, I finally see something, and it results in a huge goal. Caleb clearing the way. And why not when you're rotating through? And W bumps. Belb says. Yeah, like we said, there haven't been too much physical play of bumps demos. That certainly can be a difference maker, but you're not always able to do it, especially depending on how things are. If you're constantly having to go back, but what a shot! And Blaze, the man to have an answer when his team needs him. Blaze midfield, give him possession, fires one, too strong of a shot. We are tied up yet again. No surprise, but question is, does it end before OT or do we have another one? Holy with Caleb bouncing it forward. And Ivy, strong touch. And might try to pass it here, but can't get enough, and that's the tough part. Like, if you want to pass, but it's not a great one, and you push up too much, you can get scored on. But nevertheless, we're in OT. Big stakes. Spartan Chalk trying to close this out. Meanwhile, Team Z trying to bring it to Game 5. Who will prevail? It's now Caleb. Gonna give it up to Holy, who just fires one. But Caleb denied from Blaze. Strong defense. But that's going back, and tell me that's not an own goal. It's Holy, he's ready. But Caleb trying to keep with it. And Holy not trying to bring it to midfield, but Blaze can almost get it there. Caleb awkward. And luckily for Chalked, Team Z is a little bit awkward, not facing forward. And Blaze, what a save, almost going through. And there again on defense. And gonna be waiting, see if any mistake happens. But Caleb grabs the boost. Blaze has to venture back. Caleb, strong touch, and Blaze in an awkward spot. But nice possession from him. And Holy cutting him off. Ivy now can do some damage. 50. Now Holy pressing on. Blaze has to make an awkward play. But big bump. Could that be a difference maker? It is. And we see it. These teams are learning the power of bumps. And that's crazy because that's what brought Team Chalked into the lead late. And now Team Z using it in OT. We are going to Game 5. Watch me not do Champions Field, but we're not getting distracted. So the most important thing is to make sure it's on Champions Field. Because we got a Game 5. Feels like a while since Game 5 Champions Field for our cast, but for the content. What's up, Mildred Hernandez on YouTube? We're just casting a match. We're about to go to Game 5. So this is for all the marbles. Both teams putting forth quite the effort. But as it goes with Game 5. Hold on, we gotta... Damn, why can't we snooze them? I think, yeah, Ford Cinema, I think the ads are running. How unfortunate. It won't let me snooze, it's bullcrap. That is a big rip, but Caleb, we're locking in for the VOD. Spartan Chalks, they are up by 1. And shake up here as Chaotic filling through. He's had time to observe. And Emerson requesting a name change. Good luck with that. Holy Blade says no one cares. But pinch out. Caleb forward. And yeah, let's not forget here. I know we got the ads going. Sorry, boys and girls, but locking in. Chaotic putting forth more pressure. But game 5, Champions Field. Come on now. It's do or die here. Team Z trying to tie things up. So we see Spartan chalked. They had a little substitution. Putting in Caleb. And feel like that can work. Sometimes changing someone in can get you that win. Put the defense a little bit awkward, not used to a player, but Blaze gonna get back to what he can do. But Ivy clearing the way. What a play set up. What ads? Never heard of him. Fair enough. But Caleb trying to move it forward, and they're trying a different strat. Team Z almost results in something. But Chaotic, a little bit too wide. And Caleb cutting it. But at least people from the ads, they'll come back to a 1-1 score line. How exciting is that? They were just waiting to know what happened. And we still got ourselves quite the match. But Ivy could shoot it. Chaotic is there. It was half in. And Caleb trying to jump the gun on there. Thought that Team Z would get a piece. But oh no. Awkward strife. The cohesion not there. But Caleb has a chance. 50s at midfield. And you can see if he just beat out, he could have put a shot there. But he knew he had to adjust to try and 50 in case Chaotic was at the midfield. But the continued pressure working well. But Blaze has to venture back. Now Ivy. And 2 minutes to go. Being pressured. And Caleb gonna take possession. Although, great challenge from Blaze. Brings it up to the midfield. Has Ivy, but tough spot. And Chaotic might be able to turn this one. I don't know. He jumped the gun on that. That was open. Could have sealed the deal. But now Blaze. Another pass attempt. And again, a little risky with those. But Blaze trying to clear the way. Trying to help out his teammate. Gets the 50. Ivy gonna be beat out from Caleb, but that's backwards. And Caleb going for the bump, but Chaotic does not have possession. We're finally seeing some bumps in game 5. But Blaze and cut off, and we've seen some miscues. And that's a rough one. That is a rough one for Team Z. A little bit miscommunication. Blaze wanted to continue forward. Ivy just trying to keep it away from the opponents. But up by 2 is Spartan chalked, and that's a big one. Now we're 45 seconds left in Team Z. They need a goal quickly to have a chance. And the man to answer was Blaze so many times. Can he do it again? Well, Chaotic moves forward and just puts a shot on target. Too tough. Doesn't even need Caleb to go and get the demo. Spartan chalked 4-1. It's 18 seconds left, and Spartan chalked are well on their way to getting the Game 5 victory, keeping their undefeated season well intact, but certainly not without being tested. And Caleb sure can't get that one going, but bro. But there you have it. Spartan chalked. They're your winners. Winning in Game 5. Of course, we would like to thank Team Z and Spartan chalked for displaying their talents tonight, giving us quite the show. Give a shout out to the players. But also, thanks to everyone who watched in the chat. Come on, you guys know you're always appreciated. And classic Emerson. That's how you know someone who didn't stay the full duration, right? Am I right, boys and girls? He doesn't know. He doesn't know the lore. But, yeah, prediction. You voted Spartan chalked. You are victorious on your prediction this day. Yeah. No wonder his power went. He's got 1,000,001 excuses. But yeah, once again, thanks everyone for tuning in for this cast. We'll post the VOD on YouTube, of course. But congrats to the Spartan chalks going forward. Continuing on with the season and the win tonight.